Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Back to the Drawing Board. My name's Ted Davies, and we're going to do some line drawing today. So get ready. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Again, my name is Ted Davies. I'm an artist and author. Welcome to my channel here. Today, we are talking about drawing lines in comic books, which is kind of boring, I guess, but it should be some fun here. I don't know. We're working on Retrieve Book 3 right now out of my sci-fi series, Retrieve. And we're going to be talking a little bit about layouts on color and layering of different inks and that kind of thing today. I want to talk today first, though, about our sponsor, John Cashman, Cashman's Comics down in Bay City, Michigan. Check out everything that you're looking for new comics. He has a wide selection, and he even carries some of my stuff. So check out everything he's doing. Say hi, Petey the Guard Dog, and check out everything that they're doing at cashmancomics.com. All right, let's see what else we've got here today. Sad note, today or yesterday, actually, Olivia Newton-John passed away, and unfortunately, yeah, never got to see her in concert and everything else. But I grew up with her, very, very much a crush on her ever since I was, God, 8 years old. So really, really sad though. I'm sorry she had to suffer with cancer over the years, and but needless to say, what a great career and what a great legacy. And my heart goes out to her family and her fans and everything else that everyone else that lost her. So just a fantastic creative, and yeah, it's weird how the changing of the guard happens in our lives. We've got a lot of people that I'm seeing now that I pretty much grew up with. Earlier this week, or yesterday, actually, it was 2 days ago. TC from Magnum PI passed away, and that was kind of, that was something that I've watched the shows through the years, and with Christine and then and all these different people that have passed away even the last year. It's been quite remarkable, as whether it's in comic books or not, or yeah. So anyway, my heart goes out to the Olivia Newton family, and hopefully Olivia Newton-John family, and hopefully that they're getting through this all right. So. All right. So what are we doing next? We're going to be talking about comics first. We do a section called What's in the Box, and we're going to be talking about a couple of the slab comics that we've got right now. Just so that you guys know, I want to make sure that we've got some clarity on pricing in that, just so you guys, if you are shopping, let me get you the whole screen here. If you are shopping for these, we've got the Green Lantern, number 76, Green Lantern Green Arrow. Number 76, this is going to be $250 for the 3.5. Let us know if you're interested in getting into entry level Green Lantern. Really nice copy, presents really, really well. It does have a one line on the comic book, but just a dynamic cover. Neil Adams again. Really in good shape, though. Really, really proud of this one. So that one's $250 for this. We've got the Batman and Robin 232 Classic. Again, Neil Adams cover, presents really, really well. It's a 4.5. Really, just I think it's one of the better ones out of the collection. Again, this is a moderate, kind of an entry level setup. This one runs $425, so you can check out that one. Again, good investment, good starting investment. Really presents well. Beautiful copy. We've got the Fantastic 452. This is the big dog. This is the one we've been waiting for to see. It's a 3.0. It's very, very nice quality. Presents extremely well. This one's $650 for this. Again, a good value for this, because I think that this is just going to go up in value as the new show comes out here in August. November, I think. Beautiful copy, though. Really, really nice. Classic, classic Jack Kirby. And this needs to go to a good home. $650 on this one, 3.0. And of course, we still have the Werewolf by Night. This is actually priced to sell. It's a 9.0. Very, very nice. It's got one little marker spot back there. All white pages. Beautiful copy. And this is actually priced out at $3,000. Well under what the value of the market is. We want this to go to a good home. And this is something that I really think should go to a good home. It's a beautiful, beautiful copy. Glad that we have it in our collection here. All right, so now you guys know a little bit more about that. Okay, so what are we doing today? We're gonna be checking out a couple of things here in the comments here. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Glenn. Hey, Pete. How you doing? Donna. Eric. How you doing, sir? Carl. Good morning, guys. If you guys could like and share this out too, it would be very, very helpful to me. Okay, so drawing lines. We've been drawing lines since since we were little, right? We've been keeping it in the lines too with comic books and everything else. So the way I do my drawings, as you guys know, my style. If you don't know my style, check back into the catalog. You'll see a little bit more about what I do. With comic books, it's a little different. This one especially, because I'm going to be doing I'm setting the tone for colors in this book to set the mood more so than the words. And in that, I'm going to be showing you just a couple things I'm going to be doing with lines, kind of filling in a page a little bit and then see where we're at with the time. But I think that that's going to be kind of what we're going to be talking about today. I'd like to see if we can get a couple questions answered too. I do have a couple of the other, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of the other pages that we've been working on. So I'm going to look. Yeah, I do. So we'll be looking at that here in a minute and compare where I'm going with some of the lines and what type of tools I use to, what type of pens, what type of ink. This isn't to be an expensive hobby. This should be something that where, if you want to spend money on good products, good tools, that's fine. But a lot of it, don't let that, if you don't have the money for it, don't have the budget for it, don't think that you can't do it with a Sharpie marker or anything. There's ways to do this to where you can get really cool effects without, blowing the budget, because that's, how that can be, especially in today's world. So, all right. So no further ado, let's get over to the drawing board and we will see what we got. See you in a minute. Okay. So you guys will remember that in the last couple shows, let me get this light over here too. We've been working on this page. This page is number 3 out of the series. But before that, we worked on the preface page, which showed the chairman, and then also the first splash page, which showed a little bit stressed out Archimedes, which you can see the line work on both. I did a very, very thin line with this. And a lot of this was in a micron pen. What I normally use is a micron with a 3. It's either a 2 or a 3. So I'll use these standard. I don't know if you can see those or not. 2 or 3 on here. These aren't too bad. I think I got this at Michael's for like maybe $8 for the set. Very inexpensive, as well as what they are. I think the value of them. They're just a great product. But the microns are real easy. Again, they're disposable. So, but in that I use. I'm trying to just get a very faint line, something very simple, very almost. You have to, your eye has to put it together, because that's kind of how I like to do it. But I do the coloring first, like you guys know that. I do the tonals first, and then I bring in, and I try to find in the backgrounds a lot of the time, I'll end up finding designs that I like that I want to bring out. And that's kind of almost not really hieroglyphs, but they're kind of like that. They're kind of just bringing interest to the page. And I want to make sure that you guys, when you're looking at that, once I put everything together, and again, these are not the digitals, these are originals. So it'll be a little bit different than what I've got. Because I tone them up a little bit with digital when I'm putting them into after I scan them in that. So, but it gives you an idea. I like that sketchy, gritty look, and I think that we're going to be continuing that on throughout the book. Now you see that I've done a couple things in this. Let me just set these over here. I've done a couple things in this this page here. Let's see, where is that now? So I've set up the tones on this so that you got kind of the shadow lines of the characters in the background. You'll notice that the glasses that are set down on the desk, there's going to be a few things. There's going to be 2 characters here, Riley and Max. And then we go down here to the guardians of the, not galaxy, but the guards of the building, if you want to call it that. You'll see that image in a minute. And again, we're not going to be doing any any words or lettering today. but we're going to be getting into just the line work itself. So, but like I said, good morning to everybody. Um, yeah, Eric, it is. You're right. Sharpies are not archival ink. You're absolutely right. But Sharpies are awesome. I do a lot of work with Sharpies, so don't knock them. And again, it really just depends. I know you do a lot of digital work, and you do some awesome traditional work too, especially with that Archimedes that you did for me. Let me get a drink of coffee here. But the tonal aspect of it, what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to get some ideas for shapes in that. I really want to bring that out a little bit further, and I'm gonna just see how it goes. I'm not gonna be doing this, um, to the effect where you guys are gonna learn a technique or anything like that. This is just how I do it. So we can just kind of see how it rolls, and then we'll go from there. So the entry of the comic right now. Let me stand up here. The entry of the comic, what they're doing now into this book is they've discovered that they discovered a what they call a series of participants, and this portion of the book is where they're back at the UN. They've given him, they being the UN, have given the go ahead for these, if you want to call them experiments, or the procedure. What's going to happen? They're actually going to be doing. They're ready to go. They found who they believe is going to be the one of the participants for. And I know that this is hard to see sometimes on this, but they found participants for the retreat program that are going to actually be ones that they believe are the reincarnation of Dr. Mengele, and they're going to go after him. And there's something to where they're pretty sure that this is going to be it. They think that they've actually got somebody that's a pretty good match, and you're going to find out more about that in the storyline, because I think that that's it's not something that I can really talk about in great detail without it being giving the story away. So I don't want to do that. I want to wait and see where we're at with that. And again, I'm going to be adding some things to this. It's not just going to be this sketch line, but I'm just trying to bring in some line work so that I've got a feel for what I'm trying to emanate. It's almost like it's not a talking head or like a Wizard of Oz effect, but it's very much, it's kind of like that in the storyline, because they're very this chairman's very imposing. A lot of the people that are in this the company of this guy don't really care for him, and you'll find out more about him in the story. And then we've got Riley and Max here. And again, I'm just trying to get some lines in here. I do it very lightly, and then I'll go and fill it in later, because I think that that's I'm going to be able to fill in more with color too. I've actually got a few things here. I'm going to be bringing in some of these lines a little bit deeper with a lot of this stuff. As I'm going here, just bear with me. Again, it's going to look kind of weird because I'm not doing a real thick line yet. I'm building it up though, so it's going to be kind of you'll see it more as we go. But and I'll blend a lot of these colors as I'm going to, because going to be kind of hard to make it all out once I get going here, but you guys will see it once it starts building up. I don't think that the president. I don't. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I even wrote about the president in this story. To be honest with you, I don't think I did. And a lot of this too, I'm going to end up bringing in. It looks very much. It looks a lot darker right now, but I'll add this to it as I go. It's hard to do it on the show because it takes time. You have to build it out, and I can't just necessarily do it on the show. But I'll end up just doing a couple variations here, and then we'll see where we're at. We'll go from there. But I'll add that in a few minutes. This is going to be a lot darker once I get rolling here, but I'm just going to leave that right now, let it dry. All right, let's see where we're at here. Now, I know that this particular page is going to be a lot of talking head stuff, and I know it's kind of boring in the big scheme of comic books, but this is actually there's a method to it. So and like I said, I'm going to be building this up, so it's not, these are not final lines at all, but inks will be, I'm going to be adding inks to this too, because that's, again, these are not going to be completed, but once I start blending that out, it'll look good. What's Glenn? What is that? What is serfs and plebs? What, I don't get it. Ah, okay. Pleasant common folk, huh? Sorry, making a mess here. But as far as the line quality goes, you can figure out your what you want to do with your lines, because I think that there's again, I'm trying to do a certain type of feel for this comic. This doesn't have to be like a, this isn't a Marvel comic, obviously, but as far as the line quality goes, you figure out what you want to do with that. I'm just trying to get some tonals here to get a feel, a build up, a darker side of this comic that I'm just trying to accomplish here. But it's, like I said, it's different. And being an artist, you can do whatever you want. There's not really, forget the rules, you know, forget the rules. Ah, Smurfs got it. That's funny, Eric. Now, inks are, inks can be a lot of things, whether it's watercolor ink or, whatever, oils or proper ink, Indian ink. Line work can be all kinds of applications. Don't feel like you're going to corner yourself into something that's not going to work for you. One thing about the story too, the brothers that came up with this algorithm to track a human soul after it passes, after it dies, they made their money by creating AI that would benefit humans, but doing it in a mass format so that you can afford it. You can have a robot in your house or AI that would actually do your chores and that, but you could, kind of like what Henry Ford did for the automobile. Same kind of idea. So these intelligent men ended up having this. They had this empire that they built already before they came up with this concept of retrieve. So these guardians, or whatever you want to call them, I don't like that word because it's been used so many times. These guards are different than Archimedes. They're not as advanced, if you want to call it that. Uh, but they can be programmed to be lethal. They're in the storyline. They're one of the only ones that are actually armed, and a lot of them. I won't draw them on this one yet, but they're very um, commandable, programmable, if you want to call it that. And there's some stuff in the story that you'll see, especially in the movie. You'll be like, "Wow, that's a little intense." And once you find out, who's really got control of these things, um, it'll make you think. It will make you think. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to do some line work on this too, but this oops. but like I said, I like drawing with the watercolor too, not just the inks, because I think that there's some definite benefits with the watercolor. It brings a lot of the uh, the flavor out of it too. I think that it kind of brings out the intensity of the story. I think that once that, almost like a stained glass, and again, that's what I was trying to do with this, the stained glass effect. Once I get the lines in place that I want to, you guys will understand a little bit more, and it won't be as muddied as it is right now. Once the text is on here and everything else, I think you guys can be like, "Oh, that's sweet. I like that." You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's not going to be. There's no, and that's the way art should be. I don't want it to be wishy washy. And that's, if it's not provoking an emotion, then it's not art, as far as I'm concerned. You can argue that fact, whatever, but one thing about the like we talked about with the watercolor, I have to let it dry, so I can't. I'm going to have to kind of see how things are working out on the panel. But we can go back to another one. I've got a couple different pages that we can actually work with while this is drying up. Let me add some more. Let me add some more to that one there. And like I said, it's going to be different than the first two books. It's not going to be this clean white pages. That's not what I want anymore. I want it to evolve, and I want it to be thought provoking in a way that I think all of us, I think you'll enjoy once it's all said and done. But let that dry a little bit. While we're talking about it, if you guys noticed, I do have a QR code up there in the right corner. Put everything that I've got as far as my artwork's updating daily. So I've got quite a bit that's coming out. But if I know you guys are probably on your phones watching this. If you aren't, though, if you're on your laptop, go ahead and scan that. And you can go to the. It's also, I'm going to end up putting it in the chat, so you guys have a link to my Square site, so you guys can check out everything I'm doing. Whether you need prints or books or anything that I create, pretty much is going to be on there. Original art. Check that out. I would love for you guys to follow me that way too, because I've got a couple things I'm linking up with my original website, teddaviesartistry.com. But this will give you the direct access to everything that I'm producing as of late. So, and actually everything I've got, my original artwork as well. Check that out. It would be really helpful. But I also would ask you to sign up for my newsletter. It's going to be coming out in September, and I would love for you guys to be part of that new start of Ted Davies Artistry's newsletter. But you have to do it through this Square site. So if you could do that for me, I would really, really appreciate it. You'll get updates on what's happening throughout the course of my creations, and it would be awesome. I would really, really appreciate it. And if you want to, go ahead and scan that QR code. It works out really, really well, and it's really the best way to get in touch with me now. So whether you're on my social media and it has all my links to everything else I've got to, from YouTube to Instagram, you name it. So, but feel free to check that out. I would love for you guys to be part of that newsletter too. Okay, let's get this drying up here. All right, so a couple weeks ago, or last week, excuse me, we ended up, I did 2 different placements on the new pages. So we're continuing on that. I'm trying to bring in the mood, the tones. I'm probably going to work with the blue today. This is actually, I'm going to bring this up first. This one, I still want to tone down a bit. I think it's too, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just very bright. I want to bring that down. It's just a little bit too bright. And it looks like it almost looks like a tie-dye shirt to me, and I don't like that. Once it dries up, you see the nitty-gritty of it, and I'm just not happy with it. Okay, so in this, I've got one mood shot that I want to do with this, and I've got, if you see in here, if you can see this line in here, there's actually a figure here. Again, it's Archimedes. They're going to be, I'm not going to go through the full depth of it, but the Archimedes part of the storyline is coming through on the next page. So I want to kind of feel for that character a little bit more in this part of the story, because I know you're still putting the story together, but it's actually it's really important that he's on this full page. And then we're going to have actually this menagerie of almost not memories, but things that are happening in his mind around this. So it's really going to be a pretty profound page. So I think, but hopefully you enjoy it. Oh, good, Carl. I'm glad the QR code worked well. Excellent. Yeah, and I know that whoever has subscribed to it, thank you guys for becoming part of that newsletter, because it means a lot to me. Again, I'm just getting some lines down here, getting some overall inks and lines. So, and a lot of this too, I'm finding that, and with a lot of my work, I'm finding design work that comes from the colors. It's quite remarkable. I'm still always amazed every time that it happens, because I think that I learned so much about um, the art. It almost like it's evolving, with what I find it out after it's there, after the colors are down, which is really bizarre. But because I know that some people, like Glenn and I were talking about it, you work differently. You work like you're not. You work like you're the opposite sometimes. I mean, Glenn throws down color or throws down lines, and then color on a lot of cases. And for me, it's sometimes just the opposite. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's a really cool thing, but it's weird nonetheless. So, um, now some of the line, I'm finding a lot of shapes in this too that I have. I'm finding a lot of things in this. So, and I want to. Just say what I'm doing in a minute here. And yeah, it's a brain and a spinal column, if you guys are wondering. So I don't know if it's anatomically correct, but it's metaphoric. So just kind of go with it. You'll see it and once I get the colors in it too. All right. But as far as line goes, I like using the thinner lines on some of the stuff, and then if it, for whatever reason, it's more pronounced, I'll pop it with a decent black line. And these are to mimic a spinal column. This line here, the shapes. I'm trying to prove a point on this. The human condition, the whole, you want to call it the chakras or whatever. There's a lot of things that tie into this storyline that are very uh, ancient knowledge and that kind of thing. And it's very, it can be very good in some respects. You might not dig it. Other people will. So that's what it's about. It's about showing people that there are options there, of what you can believe in and what you can't. Plebis from Rome 2,000 years ago. You Yanks think the world started in 1776. Not so. The rest of the world has long, rich history. Yeah, I don't think it started in that. I think that we had people living in Americas for hundreds of thousands of years before we're here. You've seen the pyramids. We should do it once Truthmongers comes back. There's pyramids in America. Actually, not too far from Eric Hawkins. There's a lot of history here that they don't want us to talk about. And no, not all Yanks, as you say, believe that everything started in 1776. Disagree politely. Okay. I'm just trying to. I don't want to work over this wet watercolor here. But you're seeing how the shapes develop, and that's kind of how I wanted, this to work. This is how I've done this with a lot of my work over the course of the last few years, and I think that it's just a better way for me to show my work, or my style, I should say. No, no nerves are touched, man. It's all good. But that blanket statement's kind of, it's kind of stirring the pot a bit. So you can see as this thing's drying, though, a little bit more of how, yeah, you'll see, like I said, once you see it and once I add a few other colors to it, you'll be like, okay, that looks, see, I dig this. I think that this is very, this is poignant to what I'm trying to do with the colors. And once I tone it up and down with the digital, it's really going to be a, I think it's, and each of these pages will is a piece of art. So, and that's the way I'm going to end up selling them, much like I did some of the art in the other books. There are collectors that want, as you guys know, you guys as creators also have panels that sell these things are, and that's what I like about traditional, because I can do things and still have this to be sold as a print or as an original, because it might mean somebody, might mean something to somebody uh, that that really wanted a piece of the book. So I don't know. There's all kinds of reasons, but that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Why I'm excited the way it looks, because I think it really is going to blend uh, the story of what I really wanted in the original first two books. And you'll see it once they're all done, and then I've got the um, trade paperback in play in the next year or so. You'll see the evolution of everything because of the 2 years difference from the first two books to this, and after the movie deal and everything, of how I'm trying to think of it now as an incorporated full live action story, even though it's a little bit different than what the movie is versus the book. So, but anyway, okay, I digress. All right, let's get some more color on this. How are we doing on time? Oh gosh, it's already been 48 minutes. Jeez. 43 minutes, 48 minutes. It's crazy. It goes so fast. And I'll just end up, before I put a lot of ink down, I'll end up just some of the shapes that I'm looking for right now. Uh, I'll just kind of highlight a bit with the water. I do like these watercolors. These aren't anything expensive. I got these on Amazon. They do run out very fast. And if you put water down first, they don't work, which is, I think, interesting for being a watercolor uh, marker, if you want to call it that. So if you put it on a wet area, it won't the ink won't work. So it's weird. So they have to be applied dry, which is kind of interesting. And then I'll just add my smudge to it. I'm going to bring in some yellows on this too. I don't know if I'm going to do that actually this morning, so we're running low on time. But you can see how the shape of what I'm trying to do with the layout of the tonal colors first, then adding my ink to it, whether it's in watercolor ink or watercolor itself or in pen. So it really just depends. But I want your eyes to follow. I want you guys to really put it all together. It's not the it's not necessarily what I see, it's what you see in it or what I've created. It's just going to be kind of a guideline of what I want you to maybe look towards. But this, you'll find out about the story. You'll find out about how it all plays out. But I want it to be an interesting way of being told. And I think that's really the real opportunity I have as an artist to show that to have that experience for you, just a little bit different than everybody else's experience as an artist or as a reader or as an author. We can show you different ways to um, be part of the journey, and really see what it's all about. Thanks, Glenn. Well, and I don't know if I'll ever hit the big screen. It'll hit the TV screen, I'm sure, which that's cool too. And I'll say Glenn who? No, I'm just kidding. Of course I won't. But I think that there's ways that all of us have that story, and all of us can get to that level. There's so many different ways that a story can be told, and a lot of it's you got to go for it. You got to You got to network with the right people. You got to get going. Get your idea out there. Don't be afraid of it, and don't listen to the naysayers. That's part of what I've been preaching for the last 3 years. Well, actually, all my life. Don't listen to the people that you know don't want you to succeed. Really, just because everybody's in your circle doesn't mean they're in your corner. But usually, everybody that I surround myself with, especially you guys, I know that are listening in that are part of the tribe. So, and hopefully part of the newsletter now too. I would appreciate it greatly. So yeah, I'm going to work on this a bit. This is going to be, this is still drying, so we're going to end up, it's about 40, yeah, about 50 minutes. So we'll call it right now. Let me get back to the other screen here. Yeah, so you can get a feel for what's shaping up on this. It's going to be a little bit more user friendly as I'm getting the colors in and everything else. But yeah, like I said though, don't listen to everybody else. Find out your niche, find out what you're doing, find out what you want to create, and what stories you want to tell. Don't listen to anybody else. I think that we have a hard time as creatives squashing that other voice in our head that tells us that we're not good, that we're imitators, that we're not the people that we're really not the best. We're really not you don't have to be the best. You just need to tell the story from your perspective. There's a huge difference in that for a lot of people that need they need some help. Just almost giving them permission to do it. And if you are that person that can be an influence to a good influence to people like that, then that's what you should be doing. Tell them that they can do it. Tell them that that you're proud of them, that they are worth listening to. Yeah, that's my say on it. But so hopefully you get something out of this. I know that the line work itself, for me, it's a little different than everybody else that does comics or does illustration work. I find the journey in the colors, and that's in the tones. And I've already got an idea of what I want for shapes in that, but sometimes the art tells me what it wants, and I think that that's a really important thing. I don't think that you're too far off the mark though if you're enjoying what you're doing. And if you aren't enjoying it, then don't do it. But I think that there's a lot of people that need to hear that. Don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to put it out there to see if that's you're going to make the world better, and that's what you got to keep in mind. So thanks, guys, for stopping in. We've got a lot going on this week. Comics Unlimited is going to have another show this Thursday. Of course, you guys should check out our new book that's out, Comics Unlimited number 10. It's on Glenn B. Fleming's Amazon page. Check it out. It's about $12 for the paperback copy, and it's about roughly $6 for the digital. Check it out. It's an awesome, awesome book. And we'll talk more about that on Thursday. And we've got a few other things we're going to be talking about too. So check in on Thursday with us on that. From the Trenches Hollywood's taking a couple weeks off. We've got a few things. I know Craig is on a shoot out doing some documentary work, so he's going to be doing that and checking out a few things. Probably scoping out some locations too for the other things that we're doing. So, but we'll be back in a few weeks with From the Trenches Hollywood. And I know that Feed the Beast with John Celestri, we're going to be recording a few things this week, so we should be posting some stuff out so soon. I appreciate you guys stopping in. No envy, no fear. Try to have a good work week. Send out some good vibes. Do some good things for good, not just for good people, but maybe sometimes for bad people too, because they need help more than we do. So we'll talk to you soon, guys. Thanks again for stopping in, and have a great week.